Get ready for the ride of a lifetime. A 30-pound bagel, sign me up, and your favorite part of the big game.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Good morning. I woke up this morning thinking that it was Friday, but indeed it is not. It is Thursday, January 30th, 2020. It is day 139 of Gotta Get on Ellen. Here we are, people. I have made it. I have done it. 0 days to go on my challenge. That's right. It was a 30-day challenge. Then I made it a 28-and-a-half-day challenge. So I technically have a half day to go. I made it. I did it. I can't believe it. 28-and-a-half days without any sweets, any carbs, any alcohol. And I did weigh myself this morning. Guess what? I've lost 6 pounds. Yeah. I'm a little disappointed in that. I got to tell you. Not one cheat day. Not one cheat day in 28 days. No alcohol, no cheating. 6 pounds. I'm trying to put the positive spin on it. I'm trying to say it. I lost 6 pounds. But I'm a little disappointed. I'm going to be honest with you. 6 pounds. Craziness, I tell you. Just craziness. I kept weighing myself thinking one day I'm going to get on the scale and it's going to drop like 3 pounds because I just, I kept thinking it's not possible for me to be not losing any weight. Again, I feel completely different in my clothes. Everything's loose. I know that I have lost some inches. I just don't know where the weight is hanging on to. So I did try to put on an old pair of jeans yesterday, and I did wear them, but they weren't very comfortable, so I'm not ready for them yet. I will be. I'm not giving up. I'm not just, abandoning my plan completely the next couple of days. Pretty exciting stuff going on for me the next couple of days. So I'm probably going to put the next phase of a challenge on hold for, at least a couple of days. So I'm a little disappointed in the 6 pounds, but hey, it's better than gaining 6 pounds. It's better than not losing anything at all. Like I said, trying to find the positive spin on it. Now, one of the things that I was having to forego during my 30-day challenge or 28-and-a-half-day challenge was one of my favoriteest foods in the whole wide world, bagels. We even have 2 bagels in the freezer that I have had to move around and look at and all of this stuff for the past 28 days. And I guess this is some sort of prize for me for making it so long without a bagel. Not that I'm going to get this, but there is a bagel shop in Hoboken, New Jersey called O Bagel. And it is selling a tire-sized bagel. Okay? A tire-sized bagel. Now, they're saying that this would be something good for, a work event. You can buy this and everybody at work can have some. Now, part of the bagel experience is that you get your own. I don't want a piece of a bagel. I don't care how big the piece is. I want it to be round. I want it to have somewhat of a hole in the middle, not a really big hole, and I like them squished, that hole squished together because I want the most bagel for my buck. But I don't think that I would be, it's like cutting up a donut. It's like having a 30-pound donut. I mean, even that I could get on board with a little bit more than a bagel. But a bagel, I want my own bagel. Not a 30-pounder. But apparently this bagel sells for $35 just plain. If you would like a egg and cheese sandwich, I believe that is $85. And if you would like to add something like pork roll or bacon or sausage, here in Jersey, it's got to be pork roll. Pork roll, egg, and cheese on a bagel. That is the Jersey way. It's going to cost you $95. They say that it feeds 20 people. Okay, well, it's always interesting to have options. It's always good to know that there's all different ways you can go when it comes to eating bagels. Bagels are big for the most part. I mean, they're a good size. Real bagels from a real bagel shop, not like Lender's bagels or, those are just pathetic. Even Thomas's bagels. And, I'm not a fan of Dunkin' Donuts bagels either. They are not bagels. They are a roll shaped like a donut. Just my opinion. In other news, Old Bay. Do we have any Old Bay fans? The seasoning, put it on crabs, put it on crab fries. Well, that's what makes them crab fries. So Old Bay has now come out with a hot sauce. I'm not a fan of hot sauce. I don't enjoy the hot sauce. So I asked my husband, who is a big fan of hot sauce, if he would be interested. And he seemed mildly interested. And it's something that we probably, I guess, check out at one point or another. But just to let you know, there is another hot sauce option now available to you if you like the crab flavoring. Or, is it crab flavoring or is it the Old Bay that makes it seem like crab? It's kind of like with shrimp. Is it the cocktail sauce that reminds you of shrimp, or vice versa? Because I've stuck a French fry in cocktail sauce before, and it's a little reminiscent of eating a shrimp. It's not the same, obviously. You can't compare a shrimp to a French fry, but it still reminds you of shrimp. So is it actually the Old Bay seasoning that reminds you of crabs, or crabs that remind you of Old Bay seasoning? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you hear what get what I'm throwing down? Do you feel what I'm cooking? You smell what I'm cooking? Okay. I have not had carbs in 28 days, and I'm going to blame that right now for my nonsense talk. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to move on to my topic. I just got a text from my husband. I always get nervous when I get a text from him when it's not a normal texting time, but I had left a little note in his lunchbox that he must have just found. And so he just texted me now, thanks for the note. And when I was sneaking the note into his lunchbox, I saw that one of the notes I had left recently that said, "You are the love of my life." He pasted that up because they're, little Post-it notes I put on. He put that up on the side of his lunchbox. So it was very nice to see that. Obviously, that note means a lot to him. And it is true. He is the love of my life. My life would not be nearly as good without my love in it. So on to the topic. I wanted to hear from you about the big game, the Super Bowl. It is coming up this Sunday. That's right. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs up against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, in most cases, I would root for the 49ers. The 49ers are my second favorite team. I have told the story before of how Joe Montana actually turned me into a football fan. I decided I was going to root for the home team regardless of that fact, which are my Philadelphia Eagles. But I've always liked the San Francisco 49ers because of Joe Montana. And but I'm going to have to go with KC for the fact that Andy Reid is the coach. Of course, he was a coach here for the Philadelphia Eagles for 14 years. He did take us to the big game one year against the New England Patriots, and we did not win that game. I'm sure everybody knows that. But then we did win the rematch. So I don't know if I would be rooting for him if the Eagles had not won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Yes, I'm petty like that. I admit it. So it's a good thing that I don't have to worry about that. So I wanted to know, what is your favorite part of the Super Bowl? Is it the game? Is it the commercials? Or is it the halftime show? I have to say, the last couple of years, it's been the game. It really kind of depends. If the game is a blowout, even recently, sometimes it seems to be a blowout, and then there's a huge comeback. That always makes it exciting. I'm a football fan. I like to watch football, so I definitely enjoy the game part of it. In fact, when I was on the radio and I used to do the morning after, we were never really allowed to take off the day after the Super Bowl because, you were supposed to come in the next day and talk about it. So it was always difficult for me because I'm like, well, what do I miss? When do I go to the bathroom? I don't want to miss any of the game. I don't want to miss any of the commercials. I don't want to miss the halftime. I mean, I just got to sit there for 4 hours and not move. It's kind of crazy. So I don't have to worry about that so much anymore. And like I said, the commercials aren't as big of a deal as they used to be because a lot of them are being released before the Super Bowl. So here are some of your answers. Marcy said, given these choices, I'd choose the commercials, but my real favorite part is the food. Yeah, I was surprised. There is a lot of people mentioning food. Food was not one of the options. We're talking about Super Bowl food tomorrow. Stop getting ahead of me. Don't make me yell at you. I will. Jim also says the food. He says the only time he ever got excited about the actual game was when the Eagles won against the Patriots. Best game ever. Shell, yeah. Kate says hanging with friends. I was only interested or invested when the Eagles were in it. Diane says the Puppy Bowl. Nancy says the snacks. Megan says the food. Linda says my number's on the block pool. There you go. Amy also putting in for the block pool. Adele says the food. Tracy says, come on, Wendy. Tracy is famous for her A Side of Ultra. So I believe she is inferring that she likes the beer the most. Kathy says the Puppy Bowl on Animal Planet. Nikki says commercials and the halftime show. Jen says the end. Aw. Sandra says the commercials as well as Libby. Carolyn says the friends I hang out with. And I agree, though, the food. Okay, and the commercials. Michelle says the game. So I think that's only one for the game. Another for Puppy Bowl. And yet another for Puppy Bowl. So a lot of different answers there. Things that you are looking forward to when it comes to the big day. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about some of your favorite Super Bowl foods. That's right. What is your favorite Super Bowl food? Because, food is a very important part of football, as is adult beverage time. I believe I told you, and I will talk about it a little bit more tomorrow, I am making hoagie dip. Hoagie dip. Now, you can serve that with, little rolls or just, pieces of bread. But you know what I have found that is really good with hoagie dip to use as a dipper? Those little pretzel crisps. You know them. They're shaped like a pretzel, but they're, more like a chip. The saltiness and the crunchiness of those make the whole experience on a completely different level. Yeah, I'm getting a little into my food here, aren't I? That's because it's delicious. I've gone 28 days without carbs, sweets, or alcohol, and I'm hungry. I'm just hungry. It's awful. I'm eating today. My book club at 5 o'clock. I'm going to eat. I'm going to drink. And I'm going to be merry. That is right. So on to today's blog post. I want you to get ready for the ride of a lifetime. Continuing with our discussion of The Alchemist. It's the story of a shepherd boy selling off his flock in search of his true purpose and treasure. So the quote that I put up today is paraphrased from the book. It's when I have been searching for my treasure, hence happiness, I've discovered things along the way I would have never seen if I hadn't had the courage to go for it. Like I said, I paraphrased. He didn't say go for it, but you get the point. So He gets to a point where he's close to discovering his treasure, and he's trying to read what his heart is telling him, which we talked about yesterday, being in sync and listening to your heart. While thinking about this, he realized